Welcome to Germany vs. USA, and today we're going to talk about the differences in the German and American cars. And I guess what brought this topic about was we're working on a 61 Corvette, and we decided, hey, why don't we talk about cars and differences?
And we know many people have been waiting for this video. It's a big one, and we'll try to cover everything. If we don't cover everything, leave a comment downstairs.
Actually, just leave a comment because we won't be able to touch on all the differences.
Right, but we want to talk about some differences. I mean, one thing we can cover is, there are different car manufacturers, car companies. Germany has Mercedes, BMW, VW, Audi, Porsche, Smart, which belongs to Mercedes. I think that's pretty much it, isn't it?
Yeah, and we have Chrysler, GMC, Ford.
I mean, the Lincoln, Pontiac, Chevy, which are mostly owned by GMC, though, right?
Yeah,
By General Motors.
Yeah. General Motors is pretty much them and Ford.
Right.
Huge.
GMC and Ford in Detroit.
Yeah, the majority of them are built in Detroit, I think, because Detroit is
the car city.
The car city, yeah.
Just going down right now.
Yeah, they're in some serious trouble with the economy.
Yeah. But we didn't just want to talk about the different car companies. We also wanted to talk about differences in the cars, like small differences in the cars. We can talk about the different engines. Generally, American engines are bigger.
Right. Most cars are V6s or V8s.
Usually you have big trucks here, so they need big engines. Most cars in Germany are 4 cylinders.
But I think the reason for that is taxes. Y'all get taxed on engine size, where we don't. I think that's a big difference.
I think they do. I'm not 100% sure, but somebody please correct me. But I think the bigger sized engine you have in Germany, the more taxes you have to pay.
Miles per hour, miles per gallon,
kilometers per hour. Yeah. So first thing, of course, miles. Let's say, if you drive 100 miles here, that means 160 kilometers. So 1 mile is 1.6 kilometers.
Right, and that's a big difference. Right. I mean, I kind of thought they were a lot closer before I was over there, and we were been doing 200 kilometers per hour on the Autobahn, and really it's only 140, which is still fast.
And then another huge difference is the mileage, der Verbrauch, der Spritverbrauch. Because in the US, you measure by miles per gallon. So one gallon is, I think, about 3.7 or 3.8 liters. And so you say, okay, I have 3.8 liters, and how many miles can I go with 3.8 liters or whatever, or with 1 gallon? That's how the Americans measure their mileage. In Germany, we say, okay, how many liters do I need to cover a distance of 100 kilometers? We take it the other way around, which is very confusing.
Right, it is confusing, especially like people here complain about the high gas prices. Like right now it's like $1.70 something for a gallon.
For a gallon, so that means for $1, how much? $70?
$1.70.
$1.70 for 3.8 liters. I think most Europeans would love to have those kind of gas prices.
Yeah, it's usually like that, $1.70 for a liter over there. It's really expensive to get gas.
Car keys. Because American car keys, I don't know if we can hear, Jim's car's close by, but if you lock the door, can you hear the honk? If you lock the door, it honks. And there's also a button that can I let the alarm go off?
Yeah.
There we go. German cars don't have that.
At all?
Well, I mean, we have clickers, but like if you press several times, it doesn't honk. And we don't have the... I don't think. I've never seen it in Germany.
Really? Cup holders. Where are your cup holders?
Yeah, I a couple months ago went to a Mercedes sale thingy in Germany, and they had like the Mercedes S500, I think. It doesn't have cup holders. It's like an 90,000 euro car, and it doesn't haven't had cup holders.
Why?
We just don't drink in our cars usually. I mean, I now do because I'm Americanized, but people usually don't drink in cars. And if they drink, we usually have like bottles that have lids that you can close, and you just throw them the seat next to you or behind you.
Cup holders, great invention to have.
They are very cool, and there are German cars that have them, but not a lot. I mean, whereas every American car has at least. I mean, your car has 4 cup holders, right?
Yeah.
It seems like everybody in the US has a car. I mean, even like Jim's buddies, Jim's friends who are all students, they have a car, and like none of my friends, we don't own a car. It's just if you're a student, if you don't own a car, because you really don't need a car. If you're in a student city, you know, like Hamburg, wherever, Berlin, there's public transportation, and if you need to go home, you usually take the train.
Well, we don't have trains, you know.
You don't have really public transportation.
Yeah, in my home city, we don't have taxis. No, it's not like
it's just crazy.
it's not like, oh, there's not that many. There's not a single taxi company. And for the most part, at 15, all of my friends had a car. I won't go
It's expected, isn't it?
Yeah, I won't go as far as saying it's expected that your parents buy you a car.
But it is expected.
But it is, yeah, but it is pretty
Very
expected.
common.
Yeah, because like we just said, there's no public transportation. So when you have,
Like, it's literally if you're at your house and you want to go shopping, you need a car.
you have to take a car. You can't walk there. You can't ride your bike there.
Blitzer. Europeans and Germans will know what I'm talking about. The flashers.
Yep.
Like, in the U.S., you get pulled over usually by a police car, and I know that California and Texas they have like flashers. You know, flashers are the things that if you drive too fast, they take a picture of you.
Right. For the most part, we definitely don't have them in Mississippi. But you get pulled over, and but the flashers in Germany, they're really kind of funny to me because it seems fairly simple to get out of it. If you're a motorcycle,
Yeah, motorcycles.
motorcycles you
Well,
can't.
what happens if you get flashed? It goes to the owner of the car, and you know, if it's not the owner of the car who's driving but somebody else, the police has to make sure. Hey, okay, they basically need to figure out who that person is. They can't force the owner of the car to tell them who drives their car.
Pretty much, I'd say most people drive an automatic, and that is the complete opposite in Germany. Most people drive a manual in Germany.
Right. Most people are, and I mean there are a lot like the newer cars are mostly automatic, but many cars still they like to drive a manual shift car, and even like in driver's education you gotta learn with a manual. You know, you learn how to drive a manual.
I think that's a great idea. I know how to drive a manual, but I'm a very A to B manual driver. It's I don't.
Jim drove my car in Germany with the manual.
Yeah. Starting's a little rough. But
You eventually got used to it, but it takes a while. Actually, when I came back from the US, from like I lived there 7 months, and then I came back to Germany, and the first time I drove a shift car, I couldn't drive a shift car. I mean, I started the engine, I forgot to like
Hold
press
the
the
clutch
clutch,
down.
I just went over because I was just not used to it.
But yeah, it's such a great idea to learn to drive a manual. It's very handy to know that.
It's true. And when you switch from manual to automatic, you gotta watch your left foot, because people who are used to drive a manual, they will usually like just intentionally, like they will press the clutch
And
and
hit
they
the brake.
hit the brake with the left foot, and you will just stop. That happened to me a couple times too. It's fun,
It's funny.
especially if you have somebody behind you who is just about to freak out and kill you. Das war die Show heute über Autos, und ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Jim, can you translate that, please?
That was our show on cars. Hope y'all learned something.
Enjoyed it. Or something.
Enjoyed it.
I don't even know what I said.
I wasn't listening to you. So
Okay, y'all have a great day.
y'all take it easy.
Bye.